Takahiro Shiraishi, known as the Twitter Killer, is one of the most chilling figures in recent criminal history. His gruesome acts of violence and exploitation of social media to lure his victims have etched his name in the annals of modern serial killers. This biography delves into the dark life of Shiraishi, exploring the sinister methods and motivations behind his horrifying crimes. Takahiro Shiraishi was born on October 9, 1990, in Zama, Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan. Little about his early life suggested he would become one of Japan's most notorious murderers. Shiraishi grew up in a seemingly typical Japanese household. He was a quiet, unassuming child, described by those who knew him as introverted and withdrawn. After high school, Shiraishi held various jobs, including working in a supermarket and as a recruiter in the adult entertainment industry. His interactions with the darker sides of society might have further warped his already troubled psyche. Despite his ordinary exterior, Shiraishi harbored deep-seated feelings of isolation and despair, which would eventually manifest in his heinous acts. By 2017, Shiraishi had reached a breaking point. He was unemployed, aimless, and deeply depressed. Seeking a twisted sense of control and fulfillment, he turned to social media, specifically Twitter, to find vulnerable individuals. His modus operandi was disturbingly simple yet effective. He created a profile posing as someone interested in helping those contemplating suicide. Shiraishi preyed on the vulnerable, offering solace and companionship to those who expressed a desire to end their lives. He would lure them to his apartment in Zama, promising a peaceful end. However, once his victims arrived, the reality was far more gruesome. Instead of offering a compassionate end, Shiraishi would strangle his victims, dismember their bodies, and store their remains in coolers and containers in his small apartment. The gruesome extent of Shiraishi's crimes came to light in October 2017. Concerned about his missing sister, a man contacted the police, leading them to Shiraishi's apartment. What they discovered was a scene of unimaginable horror. The tiny apartment was filled with dismembered body parts, with Shiraishi calmly admitting to the murders. In total, Shiraishi confessed to killing and dismembering 9 individuals, mostly young women, over a span of just a few months. His calm demeanor and lack of remorse during the investigation and subsequent trial shocked the nation. Shiraishi claimed that he was fulfilling the victims' desires to die and that he derived sexual pleasure from the act of killing and dismembering them. Takahiro Shiraishi's trial began in September 2020 and was closely followed by the media and public. He pleaded guilty to all charges, and his defense team attempted to argue that his actions were consensual, given his victims' expressed desires to die. However, the court found this argument unconvincing, especially given the brutality of the murders and the lack of any real consent from the victims. In December 2020, Shiraishi was sentenced to death. His lack of remorse and the cold-blooded nature of his crimes left little room for leniency. The case highlighted significant issues in Japanese society, including the challenges of mental health support and the dangers of social media. Takahiro Shiraishi's horrific crimes have left an indelible mark on Japan and the world. The Twitter killer's exploitation of social media to find and murder his victims serves as a grim reminder of the potential dangers lurking in the digital age. His story has sparked widespread discussions about mental health, the role of social media in modern life, and the vulnerabilities of those seeking solace online. Shiraishi's life and crimes continue to be the subject of numerous articles, documentaries, and discussions. His actions serve as a cautionary tale about the darker aspects of human nature and the terrifying potential for evil to hide behind a facade of normalcy. Takahiro Shiraishi, the Twitter killer, embodies the terrifying reality of modern-day monstrosity. His ability to manipulate and exploit the vulnerable through social media, combined with his lack of empathy and remorse, paints a chilling picture of a deeply disturbed individual. Shiraishi's story is a haunting reminder of the potential for evil in the digital age and the importance of vigilance in protecting those who are most vulnerable. As society grapples with the implications of his crimes, The legacy of Takahiro Shiraishi will endure as a symbol of the horrors that can lurk behind the screens we interact with daily. His life and actions remain a stark warning of the darkness that can exist within the human soul, waiting to be unleashed.